Hello, my Meet the Masters friends. So today we are going to make our art project for the artist Paul Cezanne. Do you guys remember who Paul Cezanne is? Remember where he's from? He is from France, and he's called the father of modern art. He's known for his landscapes and portraits, mostly self-portraits, but he's most well known for his still lifes, which, remember, we talked about still life. It's a painting of something that stays still and doesn't move. They're often of bowls of fruit or flowers. So we are going to make a still life today of a vase of flowers and some fruit. The supplies you will need: a piece of white construction paper. It can't just be like thin computer paper. It won't work. It has to be thick. So either cardstock or construction paper. If you're putting them all in a notebook, then it needs to be 8.5 by 11. So your mom or dad needs to cut it to the right size. This one wouldn't fit in a notebook, but if you're not putting it in a notebook, you can keep it at this size. It doesn't matter. So white paper, you will need 5 squares of tissue that are 5.5 inches on both sides. So those of you who I delivered supplies to, I didn't give you green. You might want to ask your mom or dad if you have green tissue paper at home. If not, it's okay, because he's the father of modern art, and so your stems don't actually have to be green. They could be yellow or blue or whatever color you want them to be. And then I have like a orange and a kind of a pinkish red, a yellow, and a blue. You can use those same colors or you can use different colors. You want some colors though that are the colors of fruit, like orange and red and green. Okay, you will also need scissors. You will need some colored pencils. You will need some starch. That's what this looks like right here. I delivered it to some of you who were interested. You want to pour your starch in a little cup like this, and you want a paintbrush. Okay, let's begin. So the first thing we're going to make is our round table. I'm going to take my red colored pencil. I'm going to start about 1/3 of the way up the paper, and I want to make a curved line, and mine is going to go a little lower, just like that. So there's my round table. Now, remember we talked about patterns. A pattern is anything that repeats. So I want you to use a few colors and make a pattern. Anything you want on your tablecloth. Just don't make it so busy that it takes away from the other things. And you want to make sure you still have some white left in between, some white spaces. So I'm going to begin my pattern. I'm going to start with making red vertical stripes. By the way, I try to get up a lot earlier than my kids so the house is quiet. But if you start hearing loud singing or arguing, that means my kids woke up. You'll have to excuse it. All right, so there are my red vertical stripes. Now I think I will make a blue wavy line going horizontally. Okay, now I'm going to take my yellow. You can use whatever colors you want though. And I'm going to make wavy lines again, but this time vertically. Now see, this is a pattern because I repeat. I think I'll add one more color. I have like a teal-ish color. Let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to make some straight and kind of thicker horizontal stripes in between my blue stripes. All right, there's my tablecloth all finished. I'm going to put it up a little closer so you can see it That's my pattern. You can do whatever kind of pattern you want. If you'll see on the other project I did several years ago, I did squiggles, I did lines, I did polka dots. Polka dots are fun. You could do those. All right, if you're not done with your pattern, that's okay. Pause the video. But I am going to move on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make a blue vase, just like this one. So I have my blue square. I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, now the cutting can be a little tricky. You might want to get help from your parents if you are younger, because if you cut it on the wrong side, it messes it up. So I folded it in half, and now long ways, I'm going to fold it in half again. Now, you want to make sure you hold on really tight to the part with the fold. Okay, this part has a fold, this part has the open pieces. You don't want to hold the part with the open pieces. You want to hold the part with the fold, like this. And then you want to take your scissors, and I'm just going to cut off a little corner there. See, I made it round. I just cut the corner, and then I'm going to make kind of like cut like a half moon shape right here on the top. I kind of don't like that. I'm going to cut a little bit of a bigger half moon shape. So I cut a corner and then a little divot, and then when I open it up, I actually, whoops, I ended up connected. I actually have two vases. So if you're doing this with a sibling, you guys can actually share if you want to. I'm going to give my vase to Isaiah. All right, so here's my vase to save for later. Now, I think I will take my pinkish reddish piece. You don't have to do that color. You can do whatever color you want. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to fold it in half again, but not long and skinny like the vase, but short and fat to make a square. Then I'm going to open it back up and cut it where I folded it. So now I have two folded squares. One of them I'm going to set aside for later. One of them I'm going to use right now. I am going to cut, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to cut a circle. And if you ever seen fruit, fruit is not perfect, right? So don't keep going until you have a perfect circle, because it doesn't need to be a perfect circle. I'm going to save my scraps. I might use them later for something else. But now I have two reddish pieces of fruit. They could be apples if I want them to be. I'm going to set them aside with my vase. Now I'm going to take yellow, and I'm going to do exactly what I just did. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to do orange. Take my orange, and I'm going to do what I did. Fold it in half. Fold it in half again. Open it up. Cut it on the line. Isaiah, did you open it and cut it? That's why you ended up with 4. You need to follow directions, because you'll see why later. All right, make sure you cut it in half. Save this fold for later. So now I have a folded square, and I'm going to cut an orange. And like I said before, it doesn't need to be perfect, because nature is not always perfect. Okay, there are my 2 oranges. I'm going to save them with my vase and my apples, and I'm going to keep these scraps. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is my green. So, same exact thing. If you don't have green, it's okay. You can use a different color. I'm going to fold my green in half. I'm going to fold my green in half again. Going to open it, cut it where I folded it. Okay, save one of them for later and use this one right now. I am going to cut, do I want limes or pears? I think I'll make pears, but you can do whatever you want. If pears seem hard to you, you can do limes or green apples, or you might be using another color. So I'm cutting a pear shape. And I'm saving these scraps. The green scraps are very important. And there are my two pears, which I will save with my oranges and apples. Okay, now if you want, you can make some yellow fruit. I'm saving my yellow for flowers. What I'm gonna do now is take my green piece that I haven't used yet. See it? And I'm going, uh-oh, Isaiah, can you get me water, bud? I'm gonna pause and go get some water. You can keep cutting. Because you needed it to make petals, buddy.
I can turn this circle into petals.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, now this part's a little tricky. Here's my second green square. I'm going to cut a little strip off the end of my green square. So then when it's unfolded, it becomes a long skinny piece. Make sure you save that. I'm gonna make 3 flowers. You could do 1 flower, 2 flowers, 4 flowers. Why are they so short?
Because that's how short.
It's supposed to be folded in half, and then you cut it this way, and then you unfold it. Okay, so I'm gonna cut another strip. So then unfold it, I have another long green stem, and I'm gonna do that 1 more time. So now I have 3 stems for later. So now I have this skinny piece of green left. I'm going to take this skinny piece of green and I'm gonna fold it in half like that. So I have this small green tissue folded in 4ths. And I am going to cut a leaf. Super easy, you just kind of do like 2 crescent moon shapes. All right, I'm gonna save these green scraps because you could use them to make more leaves if you want. But now I have some leaves for later. I'm going to set those aside. The next thing I'm going to cut is flower petals. So since I didn't use my yellow for fruit, I have a lot of yellow. Fold it in half. I'm gonna fold it in half again. And then I'm actually gonna fold it in half again. Yeah, I think that's all. Now I'm going to cut the shape of a flower petal. And now I have all of these yellow petals to make a flower. All right, now I think I'll take, I had some orange left. I won't have as many petals as I did yellow, but that's okay. I'm actually gonna You guys can be creative about this. I'm gonna fold mine one more time. Oh no, I changed my mind. Do it like this, but that will only make 4 petals. So let's see, 4 petals won't go around a flower. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna make some circle petals like that. So I'm gonna cut it, actually I'm gonna fold it one more time. And I'm gonna cut kind of short, round circle petals. Just like that. Now, I know I'm going fast. That's why I did a video. You guys can pause it and catch up with me. There's all my circle petals. I'm gonna take this yellow scrap that I have. I'm gonna find a part and I'm gonna cut a circle so I can use it, kind of a circle, maybe more like an oval. So I can use it for the center part, the little center circle of some of my flowers. And then I think I'll do some red flower petals as well, red or pink. So I have it already folded. I'm actually, for this one, gonna fold it this way, so it's long ways, and then I'm gonna fold it one more time. Those are gonna be really skinny petals. I might regret that. It might make it hard to stick on later, too many of them, but that's okay. So I'm gonna do some skinny petals with a sharp point. All right, so there are my skinny pink flower petals. Okay, so now that I have all of my cuts ready to go, we're going to start adding things onto our table. Now, if you see, it overlaps. We have the flowers on the bottom level, then the vase, and then the fruit. So we need to start with our stems. So find your green stems. Don't put them too close together because you don't want your flowers to overlap too much, but then don't put them so far apart that they stick out of your vase. So I'm gonna kind of hold my vase here just so I know how much room I have for my flowers. Now I'm gonna put my vase down. So this will be easier for you because your paper is not up on an easel like mine. Yours is down flat on a paper. But here is I'm gonna take my paintbrush that's in my starch, and you wanna make sure you tap your paintbrush on the side of your cup so you're not dripping too much starch. You don't want too much on your brush. And then I'm gonna paint it on the tissue and it makes it stick. I forgot to make a window. Oh my goodness, I just remembered that. Okay, it's not too late. So here's how you're gonna make a window. I'm gonna do it off in the corner like this. You just do a line going down, a line going across. Super easy. And I'm gonna make a rectangle inside of my window to make a window pane. And then another rectangle, the same as the other one, but that one's gonna go off the page. And then another one right here. And another one right there. There's my window. All right. Sorry about that. Now we can go back to painting our stems. So there's one stem. Now your flowers are going to overlap on top of your window. So I think I want this one, well, it's in the middle, so it should be the tallest. So let's do it like, that's where I want it, right there. So I'm gonna take my brush, tap it so there's not too much starch on it, and paint it on to my paper. There we go. Now I'm going to do my last one. I want this one to be shorter. So I'm gonna do it lower, like that. You don't have to re-dip your brush every time. It's still going to be very wet and it doesn't take much starch. You don't want it dripping down your page. All right, there are my stems ready to go. The next thing I'm going to do is my vase. So my vase is just going to fit. Uh-oh. I want to make it where they're all inside. So there we go. That's where my vase fits with the flowers inside. And now I'll just take some starch. Did you have a question, Isaiah? Yeah, after you're done with all of your stems. No, you need 3 stems, bud. I know. So don't do your vase yet. I'm not. You're just situating it. That's fine. Okay, now I'm going to paint my vase. No, I'm going to do 2. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. You don't, Isaiah just asked if he could do 2 flowers. Sure, you can do 2 flowers. You could do 1 big flower. You could do 5 flowers. That just might take a while. Okay, now I just painted my vase on top of my stems. Now I'm going to start working on my flowers. Let's see. So I think I will make my flower with my little orange round petals. I'm just going to situate them in a circle around the stem, just like this. Super easy. You can overlap and do as many as you want. I think I'll do one more right here. All right, and if you notice, I didn't redip my brush once that whole time, so it goes a long way. Now I'm gonna take one of those little yellow circles I cut out earlier, and I'm gonna put it in the middle of my flower. And you know, it's not as dark as I would like it to be, and I cut out a lot of yellow circles, so I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna overlap and do some more yellow circles just so they're more visible. So now I have 3 yellow circles in the middle of my flower so you could see them a little better. All right, my next flower is going to be, let's see, I'm gonna do my yellow one next. So for this stem, now I made it kind of high, so mine's gonna be going off the page, and later I'll just go to the top and cut that part off so it fits in my notebook. Because just like the window, whoops, just like the window goes off the page, the flower can go off the page as well. Like I said, it'll be much easier for you guys because your paper's not up on an easel. It's gonna be easier if you're flat on a paper. Flat on a table, I mean.
Mom, you never did the circles.
Yeah, I did, Isaiah. My circle's right there. See, my yellow flower is overlapping my orange flower. Oops. Now your hands, the starch drips down your brush, so you need to make sure you have a paper towel. Maybe even get it a little wet because your hand gets very sticky. I think what I want to do for this one is I'm going to take, I have a pink scrap right here. I think I want a pink circle for the middle of this flower. This is why I said to save your scraps. So I'm going to cut I actually have 2 pink circles now. I'm going to use them both to make it a little darker. All right, there's my yellow flower, finished. Now I had cut these skinny, sharp pink petals. So now I will start arranging my pink flower. All right, just about done with my pink flower. There we go. And now I'm gonna put some more yellow circles in the middle of my pink flower. I'll try and do a whole bunch at once and see what happens. It worked. Okay, so I am done with my flowers. I have my vase. Now I'm gonna take my fruit and start to arrange it. You can arrange your fruit any way you want on the table around the vase. So I'm gonna put my pinkish red fruit right there. I'm gonna do an orange right here. Let's do another orange. Now I'm gonna do a pear. And another apple. And I think I want one more pear, but I kind of want it to be behind this guy, so I'm going to try and lift this guy up a little. There we go. And put my pear behind him. Okay, so I've painted on my fruit. Now, if you remember, earlier I cut some leaves, right? So I think I will put one leaf on a stem right here. Oop, I had way too much starch. Did you see that drip? Yeah, you want to make sure you shake the starch off of your brush. So, uh-oh, my pear is folding. Okay, so there's a leaf there. I think I will do one more leaf on a flower, maybe right there. And now I want to do a leaf on an orange. Okay, and let's see, I know I had one more. Oh, it fell on the ground. I have one more leaf. You can cut as many leaves as you want. You should have a lot of green scraps sitting around, or any color if you don't have green. I'm gonna make a leaf. Let's see, let's do it right here. Well, I think I'll do two on this orange. All right, so my still life is finished. Later, when it's more dry, I'm gonna cut. Right now, I'm just gonna fold it over the edge of the paper. Okay, there is the Paul Cezanne project. Next week, we're going to play a really fun Jeopardy game over Zoom, so make sure you tune in. See you later.